Yeah. So as we're leaving, when we get outside, I'm gonna turn to you guys when we're out of earshot from the barkeeper. Like, yeah, I realized too late that this is the place we gambled with Yagra. So he might be leaking information to the Enterum. But if we do really want information, we can ask Devil Starstorm directly.
Yeah, it's easily on the quarter.
I hope you caught on.
I mean, can.
I mean, I'd rather not. I keep that as plan B.
All right.
So you're going to in the direction of the Yelling Portal, or are you going to the House of Gaunt, or what are you guys doing?
Trying to find
jeweler stores or
a magical jeweler shop. So either a fancy jeweler or
a temple.
Very what?
Yeah, if we are.
Well, I think we need more information than just the symbol. I mean, what are we gonna do when we get there? Just ask, like, did you try to assassinate a bunch of people?
We sent an assassin party to kill us this morning.
Did you discuss the assassin, by the way, amongst yourself or not? Or the
well, just
I was not paying attention.
Mentioned the symbol of Khan. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you know some of the Jew. So there is somewhere in probably the Sea Ward where there's a couple of magic shops where you can try to get some more information about.
Yeah, so looking for a magic shop or a spell shop.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you based on information and being lived in Walladeep so long, you'll find some special. It's a very fancy shop in the Sea Ward. It looks very nice from the outside. You see a lot of. It's very well protected, reinforced, like a jeweler shop plus, because a lot of expensive items are there, and there's guards there, but also some scanning device where you have to go through to see if you don't take or bring something. So it's they're very protective. So you've seen it before. So it's you have to go through a check, some like custom check to go inside there and come out. But yeah, you'll find it.
Well, this is more your type of place, Olivia.
Yeah. So Olivia's entering alone with.
Well, do you want us to come with you, or? I mean,
Well, I'll like take a look at you guys. Maybe wait outside.
sure.
Maybe
your
you
bodyguard.
could be a bird on my shoulder, but that would be better than.
You want a crow with you in there? That seems awkward even for me.
No, people are eccentric when they're.
Sure. No,
Then at least you can listen in.
I'll put the crow on her shoulder.
Acting, by the way. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Oh.
So when you
By the
enter-
way, Sean, can you like point me there? I'm blind. I also can't hear you, so just hit me over the head if you need me.
I'll look for like is there like a, a crate or something for him to sit on as he's a bird, or a bench that's in the street or whatever.
So the bird is now riding on Olivia's coattails, or how
Yeah,
is
just
it,
sitting on her shoulder.
Okay. I have to well.
Is
how
this
does the
gonna
bird-
set off a lot of alarms when we enter? Or?
I don't know. Is the bird magical? I think so, right?
Yeah, it's fine familiar. It's a bay bird, technically.
Okay.
Bay,
Yeah, so-
which looks like a crow, but isn't actually.
I mean, there's fake creatures in the world.
Do you have any other illusion spells on Olivia? No, right? You're just at you. Okay. So you walk into the shop and you feel this tingling sensation coming over you, and the bird snaps out of existence immediately. It's some sort of anti-magic dispel field that makes sure that nobody brings in any seed there.
Ah, you made me get rid of Quickie. Drinking
And
the grove.
it's unnoticed by the shop owner. And when you come in, it's like, madam, please, if you have any weapons on you, please put them in the. And there's this crate where you can put your weapons, daggers, anything you have, which is
Considered dangerous.
they consider dangerous. If you please. That and there's this big bodyguard standing there and looking at you.
Nothing dangerous, just a fire necklace of fireballs, but nothing dangerous.
They can't do anything, but yeah.
It's a good thing I didn't go in there. He would have needed a bigger bucket to put all my weapons in.
Well, after all that procedure.
Yeah, so you do that, and the guard looks. He pats you down, and yeah, you could come in. And yes, madam, how may I be of service?
Well, two things. I was looking for a new ring, and I have a piece of jewelry that recently got destroyed in a fire.
Which do you want to go first? A ring. We have a nice assortment of rings, but are you looking for something specific?
Well, just something nice for my left pinky, I would say.
Yes. I assume something magical or something.
Well, it depends. What do you have?
Let's see. There is a selection of rings. I have this ring which protects you a bit more. Gives you, I think, I have to double check what it does though, but give me a second. That gives you a bit more protection for a frail lady as yourself. Well, you're not that frail, to be honest, at a closer inspection. But it's always good to be more protected. It's a measly 3,500 gold.
Can I take a look at it?
Yeah, so it's a ring of protection, but you
Yes.
can have a look at it.
I want to look if I can see any letters engraved in it.
Oh no, this is like if you can roll an investigation check, but to really ascertain what you see in the ring. Let's see what did you roll?
22.
23.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you inspect this ring thoroughly, but there's no engravings on this at all. This is mint condition ring.
How much did you say? 3,000?
3,500.
Interesting. Well, maybe let's put it over here, but not forget about it. Let's onto the necklace. I got this necklace,
Oh
and
yes,
it has seen better times, as you could see.
oh yes, very much bigger.
I wonder if it could be restored, and I noticed like the weird engraving on the stone here. Do you know what that is?
Doesn't ring a bell directly, but this is an interesting item. Do you mind if I cast Identify to see what it is? Or yeah, he hasn't he doesn't have to do it as a ritual, so he doesn't really. Oh wow, this is quite a powerful item. This is a necklace of fireballs.
But
May I ask?
as you might have entertained, it has been inside the fireball quite easily.
You mean this has to do with the event that happened in Strosco Alley? I heard it this morning. Is this evidence? I'm sorry, I'm not really comfortable.
What event? I just referred to the fire in my home 2 weeks ago.
I mean, make a deception check, because he
Yes,
he
very
is
true.
like, what the hell? I'm not a fence. Oh, okay. Um, he believes you, so you seem like you seem upper class enough that you would never suspect you to have to do anything with it, but he's still a bit like, okay. To be honest, madam, this is like the worst possible time to get to sell something like this or to find out value, because I'm pretty sure this any other jeweler would have connected this to the events in Sorcery Alley that happened this morning.
What
Especially,
happened there? I haven't heard about it.
you haven't heard about it? The entire city is talking about it. There's
Well, I just came
fireballs.
out of bed this morning and came straight here, so...
Okay, well, there was a fireball explosion in the Trossel Alley. I don't know a lot about it as well, but this seems like a used necklace of fireball. So, if I were you, I would sit on it for maybe a couple of weeks and try to sell it then, because now it's. I think the police are looking for something like this, but
Very solid advice. And not like pack it up quickly. Like,
okay, yeah, it's good that you.
it's good that I came to your shop. Oh. I couldn't imagine if I would have gone somewhere else.
I mean, it's a good neighborhood here, and we don't allow any riffraff, so I'm sure you have nothing to do with that. But I mean, it's a very unfortunate coincidence, man. Are you still interested in the ring?
Hoping to do part trade with the necklace, part payment. So, yeah, but as the necklace is unavailable for a couple of weeks, let's say it like that, I think I have to wait a little bit.
I think it's wise. I'm sure the ring of protection will not be done. We have a nice assortment of other stuff as well. If you're looking for anything particular, I can still acquire
The
it.
ring did look nice, though. I'll sure be back for it.
So, well, don't forget your belongings, madam, and it was
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you. May I ask your name, by the way? Just so we can add you to the
It's
client.
Olivia.
Olivia. And last name?
Olivia Shuck. You wouldn't know. Maybe we're like recently. Oh, I say recently. A couple of years into the city.
Oh, welcome, and I hope to see you more. And, you can get your belongings from the guard who was standing there still, and you can leave the shop, no problem.
Once I rejoin, like, day more.
So,
They started asking questions about the explosion of this morning, so
I already know.
yeah, they did. I kind of fussed it over, but I think he believed me.
I mean, I'm
As
not
soon
wondering.
as he found out the necklace was a necklace of fireball, he became very suspicious.
If something like this had happened in the Dockworks, I mean, people wouldn't even have talked about it, I think. We got killed there all the time.
True, but he said he would knew nothing about the lettering.
Oh, okay.
Sean, at this point, you are standing outside the shop probably. You get a paper bird, which is from Renar, and it says, I heard about the incident this morning. Hope you are all right. I might have information. I'm not sure. Come see me.
Alright. I'll relay the information to the rest. I mean, they see the bird coming, so probably.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll head there, right?
Well, so, Olivia, do you know like a shop where I can buy like magic herbs and like stuff you use in rituals on the way there? Because it's not coming back.
Well, we know the shop close to the bar.
Yeah,
That might not be the find
Maybe I
something.
figured you might know something on the way, because we basically passed by Blackstaff Tower, right?
I would imagine that I would know most shops in the city.
Cool.
And magic user.
And I want to make a quick stop there, because I think I need some stuff to get my bird back.
You're not going to Blackstaff Tower. You're going to Bredendar. But sure, there's especially this kind of stop is not that uncommon. There's some herbalists and potion shops around Notong. You
I'm gonna buy ingredients to cast Find Familiar again.
Yeah, no problem. Mark those off, and that's no problem
I'll get an extra set for next time.
Yep. Yeah. So you travel by coach or by foot towards Brendenthal. You're already somewhere in the Northwark, so you're already halfway. I think you're somewhere here in this area. And, you can just walk it if you want and arrive at Bernard's home in the beginning of the afternoon, or at least it's probably a bit later already. 3 o'clock something by now. And you're being let in by the servants. Being let upstairs to where now is. Oh, I'm glad to see you all alright. That was quite, I think.
It was. Not quite sure it was targeted at us, but I don't know. You
No.
said you had some information?
All
About
the
it, or-
things that have happened to it in the last 2 weeks, I think this was the least dangerous thing.
Well, for us, I mean, there are a few people that are dead, Valius.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, to
We
be
know.
honest, I mean, there were a lot of bad people every time something happened to us, but, you know.
Yeah, but those were people either we killed or were evil. These were bystanders that died.
Yeah, that...
That's
Oh,
the
yeah, you
difference.
did say
Some
that.
of them. Some
Yeah,
of them,
well.
anyway.
Yeah, that does suck. Anyway,
Yeah. So
Anyway,
you're stuck in this, and you see him getting a bit solemn, like. Was there by any chance a gnome among the party that was killed? I've heard rumors, but you were there.
There was. And I believe that, well, I mean, that's my conclusion, that he was the target, because they saw someone rummaging through his belongings looking for something.
I'm sorry, I think this is all my fault.
oh,
I've, even though we've been on good terms, I've not been completely forthright with you guys. I've been speaking to my father, and my father, besides sending me this detail of protection, he also sent his most prized possession, his stone collar, with his friend Dalakar, gnome. And he wanted me to safekeep it for the time being, but based on all the events that have been happening, I didn't want it in the house. I didn't want it close to me. People are trying to get to the stone, and nobody can get to it. It's such an important thing. And as I actually said that they should visit you, and that you could make it disappear or hide it somewhere. And I know Dalakar was on his route towards you, and somehow somebody must have taken information, because he was, if I understand the sources, he was killed and somebody took it off him. Stone of Galar. It's of the utmost importance that you find this, because the person who possesses the stone possesses the immense amount of money that's stored somewhere in Hindenvold, and with the money they can do anything in Waterdeep. It's so much gold.
There was two Centurion
That's where the
guards with him. Are they supposed to be there?
Center, no. They must have been following him, trying to get to him.
You send
They
him
were
alone?
They got killed as well.
Why would the Zentrum put their own people in there?
Why would you send a gnome on his own towards us if you could just send a message?
He wanted to deliver the stone to you guys. Stone of Galore. I didn't want it in my possession. Because
I understand that.
I've been through it so many times. The Xenator were so close to me, and I was only thinking about the Xenator, but I forgot that there were other factions in the city also aiming to take the stone in possession, and must have somehow the Zentrum must have gotten wind that I wanted to be as conspicuous as possible. At least my father was in charge of this operation, but apparently somebody noticed him or know that he was carrying the item.
I'm just happy we didn't ask Dapple any questions.
Question for the DM: either the breakfast or the waiting outside of the jewelry store, would any of those events count as a short rest?
Sure. You've been a relaxing, but except for the fireball, it's not been a very high input day.
Then when Reinar is finished talking, Sean is kind of done with it, and he's gonna cast suggestion on Reinar. He's been half lying all the time, and he's done with it.
Screw inside checks, we have magic.
This circle to find the knowledge stores.
You don't need a zone of truth spell if you have suggestion.
Yeah. Absolutely true.
DC 15, so
DC 15 wisdom save?
leave it with wisdom. Yes, wisdom save.
And 18.
Okay.
But what do you say to him? Because he doesn't really know that you're casting it, right? Or how
Yeah.
does it work?
I do say. Well, I mean, it is. I am in front of him, and it is a verbal and
Oh, okay.
a verbal spell. So he sees me casting it, and as
Okay.
part of the casting, I do say, I should just you stop lying to us and tell us the entire truth if you want us to help you in any way.
And he looks at you and says, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, Sean, and I'm sorry I haven't been forthright with it, but it's also something between me and my father. You have to understand. And now I think I told you everything you want to know. If there's anything that's unclear to you, I'll tell it to you immediately. But I know my father was sending over protection, and last minute he told me that he was also sending over stone, but since I know this was the prized possession of the Xenator and we were just outside of the battle and I didn't want to involve you too much at that point, I neglected or omitted that detail, but when the gnome came close to my mention, I suggested to my father that he would instruct him to bring it to you guys. But that was yesterday. He didn't arrive together with the guard. And I think somewhere information was spilled or obtained. I have no.
If the Xenator didn't take it, who did?
Well, Xenator might have taken it, the Zentrum didn't.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It is very weird though, because how do you, what do you know about what the do you know anything about who threw the fireball? Because it's very weird for the Zentrum to close in on him and then throw a fireball. So it's probably not his entering then.
Does your family have any connection to the Church of God?
Church guns? No. I mean, we have no affiliation with them, but we know of this House of Inspired Hands in here in Seaward, and I've been there a couple of times. But to be fair, we have no direct
We
connection.
got a location of the attacker, and when Sean and I went to check it out, we found a torn piece of cloth with the symbol of the Church of God on it.
That's strange. Gaunt is of all the people in Wallaby, Gaunt is one of the least political houses. They're mainly intrigued by their own machinations and robots and puppets and machinery. Not getting involved in politics. It's
Do they have like a special color scheme or something, which their house wears?
I think it's green with a golden card with spokes, but
So you guys, there were some. You talked to the witnesses, right? I'm looking at Andre. You talked to some of the witnesses, right? They saw the attacker. Did they mention any green clothing or anything?
Sean talked to the witnesses.
Sean.
Yeah.
Did the witnesses?
I forgot.
Did the witnesses say anything interesting about the attacker? Like, was he wearing something green? Maybe something else?
Nothing in particular. Cloak had a limp. Whatever threw the fireball looked like a creature, but more like a puppet than an actual person, I think.
It looked like a puppet, and you found the symbol of Gaunt, who
Yeah, so
uses
that makes sense, right?
puppets.
And
Well, at least we can just.
Runar says, like one of those gaunt things that you see at the parades, and when he says the word parades, it hits you immediately. Like, yes, of course. When you every festival parade, what the House of Gaunt represents, and in their marching band, there's all these robots, and you never put it in place because those robots are all imaginations, like clunky things that are running in place. But yeah, it's something like one of those puppets, one of those machineries that you saw, well, that you based on the eyewitness reports saw on the roof. Yeah, that must be it. But why? Because God, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well,
They're carrying out crafts, smithing,
do they
inventories.
sell the puppets?
Oh, they're very. I know people are asking about it, but they were very strict that they don't. Because actually, I think my neighbor tried to get one for the household or something, but they're very protective of their.
Be a nice novelty to have at a party or.
Yeah, and they don't care a lot about they care about not people themselves, but not to. I don't know. I don't know enough about their ways to really make sure what they want or not. But it's so out of place. It doesn't make sense. Why would they try to get to the Stone of Gore? It's nothing for them.
Does it really matter why they wanted to? At least now we know that they were the ones who wanted to.
I think it doesn't add up. You should go to Garden Stamp and maybe there's people there.
Yeah. Maybe put a fire pole and stuff in front of their house.
I know a priest there, the head of the temple. It's called Coletta. She might know something.
So on a scale from these people are trying to kill you to I trust my life on them, where does she fall?
I mean, I think that we met at the party once, but I would not trust my life with her. But I also, again, she's. You must have met people from the House of Aspired Hands before. They're all about crafting and smithing. They don't care about anything else.
But it
There's
might
no-
not be all of them. It might just be one or two of them who want to get rich. Like, really rich. If I will have to believe you, like, powerful enough to not care what the House of Gaunt would do to them rich.
Well, there's always people with every person has their own intention. But it's of course in any religion there might be outliers where people act against the nature of the religion, the ethics of their discipline.
Well, they might think they're doing the
Or
right
big
thing.
paladins that might switch or be tempted by something. And maybe there in the House of Bronze as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, based on my information and knowledge, it's very unlikely. But again, maybe there is somebody with an incentive or
Yeah, or they think they're doing the right thing by keeping it out of the hands of the Xanatar.
I don't know. I mean, this again, I would also not trust the Temple of the Inspired Hands to keep something that precious, that safe. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a nice temple and it's pretty well protected for visitors. They're not a fortress to be taken in. And against the Xanatar, I mean, I would be
And our inn would be?
about going on the dealings in the city. Sorry, what did you say, Adrian?
And our inn would be?
You're in. There is no inn. I mean, I know Valetta, you can.
Well, not anymore. Someone blew it up. Well, part of it. But you sent the stone to be protected or taken away by us.
Yes.
And you don't think a fully operational temple would have a better chance at protecting it?
I walk over to Andre and whisper in his ear, "We're expendable."
I know.
Sorry, I have no affiliation with Temple of Gaunt, and I would not think of them as the main place to hold such a prized possession. I would. There's a lot of places I think that would be safe, but again, very corruptible people. And to be blunt, you have proven yourself over and over again to be trustworthy with not only protecting my life but also my secrets. Even until the near death of your own comrades in that sense. I mean, Sean, you've been almost murdered and kidnapped, and you're still coming back. And of course, there's you have your own incentive and purpose, but also, to put it bluntly, the Stone of Gore would probably be more of a nuisance to you than an asset, because 500,000 dragons, that's so much money. People would come after you, and I'm also pretty certain that you would not be able to keep all of that all by yourself. So you don't have to cast suggestion on me, Sean, but that's the truth. You're good at hiding things, you're good at protecting things, and you're also not that big or well established that you could keep 500,000 dragons to yourself without anybody coming after you. There. That being said, it's not your problem per se. It's my problem. I understand that, and I'm not trying to pertain to your to your ethics or goodness that you would go after this. I'm just saying the person holding this stone is going to be forced to be reckoned with the moment they get hold of the money. and they find out where the hidden treasure is. All honestness, I have no idea where the map is.
So is this
myself.
stone like a key or a map?
I don't know all the details, but there is a sentience to the stone, I presume, and it will identify the owner and tell its secrets to it when demons.
So more like a map. Both, I guess.
But I don't know the inner workings. And my father and I are not the best terms. Our relation is a bit.
No, I'm just trying to figure out like how much this person needs to know. Because if it's just a key, then you also need to know the location. But if it's a stone that whispers you the location, then you don't need anything else. I guess. Well, I mean, if it were up to me, I'd say throw some fireballs at the Temple of Khan, see what happens. But I think Olivia here is not going to agree with that. So.
Neither do I, by the way. But yeah.
And you see Renard actually why I like.
Well, I'm joking, of course. Come on, guys. I know it's a serious matter, but lighten up a bit.
If in doubt, fireball.
Well, I mean,
Right. So
talking about fireballs, do we need anything special to use that necklace? You know that, right, Olivia? You're muted.
I don't think we would, but I think the necklace might be broken at the moment. Doesn't look too good.
Oh man,
Plus
a hammer that
is-
doesn't look good still works.
Plus, someone fireballed our place with investigators already investigating us for murder. If we start walking around with something capable of casting firebolts, I don't think it'll give the best impression.
Yeah,
I did
but
my
if we're
best to charm
fighting
him,
an
but I
ar-
don't know if it'll convince him.
I mean, we might not need it, but if we end up fighting an army of puppets, it's very useful. Let's just put it that way.
last resort.
Master of puppets.
I mean, we can have this discussion while we're fighting an army
Why-
of puppets, but let's have it
Let's
beforehand just in
take it from the
case.
start. We go to the temple, then what?
Then we ask the priestess Renard told us about and see if.
Hello?
I
Do
don't
you have
know.
the do you have the stone that we're looking for?
No, just ask them if they were like.
Hello, do you have any priests that might be interested in 500,000 dragons?
No, they maybe were protecting something or not.
Good
Just ask them
with,
to pay for
thing.
our inn for reparations. See how she reacts. See if she's sincere when she says she knows nothing about it.
Maybe ask if any of the puppets went missing recently.
We could
I
just
don't-
say, I don't want any trouble. Just fix our bar.
They say, yeah, sure. I just got in some money recently. How much?
Just
No, I don't care. I mean, do we really care who rules the city?
Yes, we do care.
Oh, okay.
also
Do we?
this
I don't.
vault seems to be a this port seems to be somewhat of an overlapping problem for us, or it keeps on popping up. Right, because if I'm not mistaken, it is also something we were dealing with the center, with the senator.
I'm pretty sure that's why they kidnapped you, because they thought they
We
had
know where the vault is.
Yeah. So maybe look into the senator again. What we were planning to do anyway.
Do we know where the vault is?
We have no idea. But
No.
Well, you know the vault of the Xantar, you know, but not the vault
Yeah.
of
The vault.
No, I have no
Did we
idea.
ever go there? No.
Well, once to stake it out, and then you were so much hurt after the sewer ride that said, "Oh, maybe next day," and that's
So-
like 4 to 5 days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, so that is kind of what Sean is going for. Like, maybe we should check that place out.
Well,
Since the guy was running like in a certain direction where there were also sewer entrances, and I don't think we can go to the temple and just say, "Listen, someone blew us up," and
we can
want
try
you to
to
pay
buy
for
a
it.
puppet.
well, I mean that's the least we can do is go to the temple and inform about the puppets, how they work, or
You yourself look like someone else. You could pretend to be one of the investigators and that you said you found the temple mark and what's up? Give me answers.
Yeah, but I think
The only thing that can go wrong with that if the investigators show up themselves.
oh, which they probably will, since you gave the evidence to them.
then again, who would they wouldn't know it was us if we do it correctly.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, I can change and my clothes and do that. That's not a problem. At
Well-
least gives us it does give us some leverage to ask a bit more of a deeper question than just, "Hello, we want to know about
Hello.
puppets."
Why did you blow up as a bar?
So what do you want to figure out? Like how they work? If any were gone missing?
One how they work. I mean, for all we know, the puppet was the one that's throwing the thing, and is also the one that was running to the gnome. If it can be controlled from a distance, maybe it was just the puppet.
I mean, if
If
I
it-
tell my bird to fly back to the Morning Tavil and back, it will just do that. So maybe just order it.
Exactly. So that's one thing. How do these puppets work, if they work at all? Are there any of them missing? Are there any members of the temple that have been acting strange, have gone missing? That they had trouble with. I mean, if we're pretending to be detectives, we can ask.
Excellent.
Pretty-
question for a detective.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going either to the temple or into the sewers again, I don't know if you recall, but we ran into these weird bipedal or rats that was walking on 2 legs. And
Right. Yeah.
my bow had no effect on it.
Oh damn!
I hit one really well. And
Why
nothing
did you just
happened.
run away? Oh, that's why. Okay. Because you just left us there.
Because I have heard rumors of animals that has, or creatures that has abilities to withstand.
Why did you
Regular
shoot them? I don't
weapons.
think they were.
I got 2 crossbow bolts to the chest
Oh yeah.
before I shot.
But to be fair, had you just walked into my room, bow drawn, I would have also put 2 crossbow bolts in your chest if I didn't know who you were.
Yes,
I
but I
mean,
shot back, and it
I
didn't
think
work.
we've established at this point that you're
Hello?
not the diplomat in the group.
Can we
I am
please focus
excellent.
on the task at hand and not quarrel about who should who?
No, but I think if we ask
I
them
was
nicely,
trying to make a point.
if we ask them nicely, they might actually try to help us instead of kill us. That's what I'm saying. They live in
why
the
I-
sewers. We have hundreds of gold pieces. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't want some of that.
Or they kill us
were
and
on a
take him.
place. They were in a place that the Zenithar were, or the Centrum were, and
They
they
seem
were
pretty
probably
hideous on them.
Centrum themselves. So
They didn't seem to help them, or I think they were just living there.
So, I have been saving up, and with this gem we got from our new fancy bag, I am almost there. But I am not going to the sewers until I gather at least another 200 gold pieces to get myself a bow that will work against
Hold
this
that
type
up.
of creature. No idea what it is, but I've heard rumors that certain animals cannot be hurt by standard weapons. I am not going back in there until I get something that is not a standard tow.
Fair enough. But next time we see them, let's try to talk to the... I can't believe I'm telling this to you, but let's try to talk to them first, because they might actually know a lot about the Zantrum since they live next to them.
That is perfectly fine, but in case they don't want to talk, I want
Arrows.
to be able to do something.
Fireball. Alright.
And I keep the necklace.
Okay, so first we go ask the church.
Yeah, I'll look
How
at
about
where's the.
We ask Gunnar for a down payment for our services.
I mean,
You asking an artist?
Well,
I don't...
I'm discussing it in the group before I ask, but
He's in the room, I think.
yeah, well,
I understand where you're coming from, Olivia, and you. To be fair, I think my father would really like the Stone of Golor returns because he wants us to have the money, of course. I think, and this is pure speculation because my father doesn't share anything with me, but the reason he wants the stone to be returned to our family is that he wants to reclaim the seat as the open lord of Waterdeep from Lara Silverhand. He needs the money to do that. But for some reason the
our best with covering the stone, and as you said before, we have been proven trusted hands in the past.
yes. With that being said, I don't have the I can give you some fun, but
How about, and I wink at Andre, 200 gold for a down payment?
Wink.
for what exactly? For getting the stone?
Yes, and if we return the stone to you, you can pay us some more. And the 200 gold is just for expenses we make along the way.
Make a persuasion check. Just for my-
When Olivia starts to have this conversation, you can just see Tally's jaw fall on the floor, as he has now become the person who wants to not kill everyone and not greedy.
To be bluntly there, I really appreciate your help, but I think I reimbursed you and gave you already a very nice present with the bag of holding and the
Don't
money.
worry about it,
Went on.
Renar. You don't need to
And
apologize
then you got
to her.
our inn blown up.
Well, I didn't blow up your inn, but I will.
What I'm saying is that it will take us some time and effort to get the stone back at least, and we need to buy some
To be honest
supplies
with you,
to
my
be
fund,
prepared for what is coming.
my funds are running low as we speak as well. We spent a lot of time and effort in protection and of our family, and when
And
we
I just point at the guard. Did you hear that? They ran out of money to pay you.
I'm sorry, Renard. Don't
no,
let them try to strong-arm
I
you.
know. But no, but we have to make sure that we pay our guards, of course, and we'll do that definitely. But to be fair, Olivia, I really don't like the tone of voice. You've not struck me as a very greedy person before, but I'm willing to split give you money from the treasure, might we find it when we reclaim the Stone of Golor, but as of now I have not a lot of funds to part with you, especially since I really wanting to pay my staff first. That being said, if any money comes my way, free other means, I would love to share it with you.
Don't. I apologize on behalf of Olivia. She's usually not this intense on it.
Olivia, sorry.
See,
I think it's her cousin Lucius that has a bad influence on her. But I understand the need for funds.
We
But
have
as
enough.
mentioned, we ran into these creatures. Would you potentially, as some of the contacts you have in this city, know anyone who might be able to provide us with magically enhanced weapons, slightly below normal market pricing? I'm not asking you to cover any of the cost, but maybe your name or word could carry at least some discount. If you know any specific vendors.
I don't know anything off the top of my head, so I'm really sorry, but at least I'll do the inquiry for you to see what I can venture to be honest. But
Appreciate it. Thank you.
our name, although it still carries weight as from historical value, we don't hold that much power anymore. Just what we
I think we can overpower them. I mean, if she can do magic anyway, he can do magic. We have the necklace, and if we just jump on them, we can just restrain them. I mean, I don't think we need to fight to do that.
I'm not a tactician, of course, like you guys are, but the House of Inspired Hand is a very public place in central Seaward. I mean,
My part was weird creatures in the sewer, not the.
oh, sorry. I was thinking you were trying to overpower the Temple of God. So.
We're not trying to attack your source in the Temple of Khan. Don't worry about it.
I mean, like, I think maybe they're hiding stuff. I don't know, but you could definitely just walk in and talk with them without being.
Yeah, we'll talk to them, see how the puppets work. But if we go to the sewers, there's some creatures there which we. Well, Andre tried to fight them and didn't succeed.
Well, how much money do you still have to get for your bow then, Andre?
200 gold pieces. I have a gem that covered parts of it, but I still need
I can
200
cover
gold.
that if you need it, though.
I must say I can cover part of that if you need it.
I mean,
I'm at the moment I can only so.
don't worry about it, Renard. We can cover that.
I understand your predicament. So and he gives you 100 gold from one of his funds. Like I do consider this as not as a gift at the moment, so Andre, but I can spare you a gold for your.
I understand. Thank you.
Not to try and leech off on your thing here right now, but do you have any clothes, any kind of describes the type of clothing the detective was wearing?
Like
Because I can only change my face and not what I'm wearing. If we have anything.
I don't have specific uniform for the Order of Magisters. I know they have.
Wouldn't they talk to a greyhound? I mean, the priest, if they were interrogated by a greyhound, they would talk to them, right?
The
They,
Greyhounds, certain sway, yeah.
they would send a runner afterwards to the Greyhound why they
Yeah,
were
but
treated this way.
we're not doing anything wrong for the greyhounds. I mean,
No, we're using the
well, you're a greyhound and you're
Greyhound.
doing an investigation into what happened at the tavern. I mean, isn't that what you do as a job?
I think our DM is frozen.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Frozen Dead syndrome.
Or the or mail, but you're welcome to get the outfit from my wardrobe if you want. So there's fancy clothes there. So if you want, you can grab a set of fancy clothes in Renard's size. But I think he most maybe he's a pretty buff dude, but not that extremely. But so.
I think you froze for about 70% of that of
Oh,
what
great.
you were saying.
Great.
But he's got fancy clothes for me, so
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the most important part of it.
Yeah, I was not aware that I was freezing. Yeah, you can fetch an outfit if you want. If you, but he is his size.
Olivia, can't you just open an official investigation?
Could go to your boss and ask.
I mean, isn't that what the greyhounds do?
It might be something they're interested in.
Show some initiative.
In the middle of the study.
Greyhounds, they like to be in the shadows and not like start knocking on doors.
Fair enough. I mean, I figured they'd be happy if we gave them the stone to the treasure and not just let it be had by the Zentarim, but apparently not.
What the Greyhounds value most is knowledge and power.
Knowledge
but
of
not
where the
money.
treasure is.
Knowledge where the exactly.
Not that kind of knowledge. Honestly, people.
Money brings
you want
power.
it from open, I don't understand it.
I'm sorry to see it here again. I know Varja pretty well, and she's a great friend of mine, and that's one of the reasons we also I know that's also the person I reached out to get you released from jail earlier.
Wow.
And, we follow a lot of the same cause. There's also a reason why I haven't asked her to do the entire protection of everything. No offense, Olivia, but the Greyhounds have their own objective, of course, and although it would not be for nefarious purposes, they would push their own agenda, of course, for the Wallabeep City Council in that sense, with that amount of money, and I'm sure you would support that goal. I'm not completely sure that it's in everybody's best interests to
Just trying to smash some sense in these idiots who has their bar closed, but they don't seem to understand the situation themselves. Honestly.
Yeah, so, but I would really appreciate that the Stone of Galar would not fall in the hands of the Greyhounds. I know this is a conflict of interest of yours, Olivia, but at least I would prefer to letting in the hands of the Zentarim with the Xanthar, or something like that.
Don't worry, Renar. If they're not, if we can't even use their name to help us, then they're not getting it.
Alright, I guess detective it is. I'll start rummaging through the clothes to find something suitable.
And you find actually, if you look for clothes, you find something that is casual, fancy enough that it would probably pass as a Magister for people that were not familiar with the Order of Magisters in that sense, an investigation. It's a sort of a uniform kind of thingy, but it's more of like a dress uniform. If you, it's way more fancy with golden embezzlements and shiny buttons, whereas Barnaby's uniform was way more functional.
Yeah.
Also, since I had so much success with Barnabas, I have the ability to change, including clothes.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know. I'm just offering it because we're not on a time limit. I mean,
Well,
I'm not sure how busy it's gonna be there, but if we have to wait to get an audience or
exactly,
something,
or if they can see through
Yes.
magic, which, like, at a temple you'd expect people, maybe. I mean, fool a bar owner, sure, but fool a high-level ranking priest, maybe not so much.
True.
Oh. You could be a scribe. I mean, maybe not in your clothes. I can be a scribe, I have nice clothes.
Or if I could borrow 100 gold, I could go bow hunt. Bow.
Yeah, you can have 100
Shopping.
gold if it makes you shut up. I throw a pouch at you.
All
where's the
right.
shit coming from?
oh snap!
I'm gonna go get a bow.
I do want
I'd
that
like
back
to
at
temple,
some point.
apparently.
Nope, you already gave me the money before you said that. Bye. Well then,
That was the quickest
I am-
spend on
I
100
am-
gold, I think, ever.
I am buying myself +1.
So where do we guys meet up?
Please.
So we go to the temple, you go by bow shopping, and where do we meet up? Because I prefer to meet up someplace where there's not tons and tons of guards.
Yes, either here or at Andre's boss. Well, that might not be at Andy. Probably here, back here, right? And then see where
If
we
you're
need
okay
to
with
go
that,
from there.
Bernard, we can, I mean...
Yes, by all means.
Oh, by the way, if you give me an hour, I can summon a bird. Not sure why it's useful, but, you know.
Hey, if I can use that hour to have a little rest myself, that would be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Gives me my spell slot back.
Just
You're welcome to stay here. I do have to say, like, I in the Stone of Golor, I mean, it will take time for the person who holds it to attune to it and to understand it and to speak with it and to discover all the secrets. But of course, I don't know what the prowess is of the person possession now of the stone. Don't,
you think they
No.
can find it in a day?
I have no idea where it is. I have no. It's
Like,
I trust your capabilities to
yeah, I mean, like they can find the vault in one day. I mean, once they have the stone.
I don't know. As I said, my father tried to use the key, but it was hidden to him one way or another.
I mean, I can summon the bird while you go talk to the priest, Sean. Maybe take Olivia with you. Or I can summon the bird later. Just don't worry about it.
Then we'll head out towards the temple. Change my clothes. I'll wait with changing my appearance till we get pretty close to it, just to make sure we don't run into anyone who knows him or get the awkward. Hey, how you doing, guys?
By the
Fine.
way, Sean, if you want to turn into a magister, don't you just want to turn into a different magister? As if they know his face, they know the clothes don't match and the voice doesn't match, and if they don't know his face, it's better to not use the same name. I mean, he also knows where. If he's already been there and you're a different magister, then you're just a second magister following up. If you're using the same name, it's more awkward.
True, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just from you could do. I mean, I'm not useful for investigation, I guess.
I'm just I don't know how well known would a messenger be around the
No,
time.
I'm just afraid that he's like just left, and then you show up saying you're him, asking the same
Well,
question.
they don't have this clue, so.
They do.
Right, or do
Andre
they?
gave it to them.
All right, Andre gave it to them. In that case, I
Like
think
he
you're
likes
right.
to give valuable things away, like our address.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's the thing he does. That's true.
I'm buying. Oh, not, I'm buying a bow. I'm not there.
Oh, you're already going by both, sure, yeah.
I think we have this
I got the
conversation
money,
while we
I'm
go to
gone.
the temple.
Been waiting for this for days. Yeah, no.
Now to Stroswell
Yeah.
Alley then to fetch the boat.
Yeah.
So carriage rides. Tally is like, wow, you're fishing.
Like copper, silver. It's like. Yeah.
Well, it's there. To be honest, I was trying to cut you some slack with the cost of the reparations, but I mean, you're very well endowed. But
Not a,
I'll still do this now for you guys, since you're
Hey,
such valuable customers.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not rich anymore, but
No.
thank you.
So it's a beautiful +1 longbow you have now in your possession for 1,200 gold. Update your equipment.
I'll help you fix up your inn because you're poor. Oh, can I buy the magical bow with this bag of gold that I happen to have?
Like, sure. But you're still buying from him, and he's glad that somebody actually bought it. Like, take good care of it. It's a fine piece to craft.
Be put to good use.
Sure you.
I like it. I like it. It's nice.
And, yeah, in the meantime, yeah, so you can make your way to the House of Inspired Hands here on the map. I highlighted. So this is where the temple is.
Yeah. I think Tilly's had a point. Yeah, he's gonna change into a human he's seen before.
Yeah. Human? Male?
Human male. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do this as you approach the house and fire tents, of course.
So
I'll
are we
probably do it as soon as I leave the door, just to make sure that I don't have to duck into an alley to change my appearance again.
Are we all gonna go in, or
So,
should I wait outside? As I'm just guy in black robes following you around.
yeah, maybe that would make sense. Just go in alone. And he's male, big, dark kind of shaded hair, those thick eyebrows in his face.
Nice.
Little
Yeah.
elderly gentleman.
So, yeah. Like a real Columbo kind of investigator, yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
just
so
go
that-
up.
That was where I was going. Yeah, I'm actually gonna use that alias as well.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it.
I'm just gonna go walk around the temple while you go ask your questions. See what I can.
So the two of you are on the road to the temple. No, Olivia and Andre.
I was assuming Olivia was joining us, but I don't know if she had any other plans or wanted
I'm
to
thinking
inform the
if
Grey
I
Hand
go
or.
with
And did you wait for Andre to come back, or is Andre just talking go shopping?
I think we said when he went that we would meet up again at Reiner's place. So.
I have one more thing. Yes. So you arrived to the. You've been here before, of course, not a lot because it's not really a place in the city. You don't go where you have to go, but you've seen it time in the past. And this is the House of Inspired Hands. It's somewhere you come this open area and there's this building which looks like a cross between a temple and like a workshop. There's this huge symbol of God, the tooth top of the four spokes, permanently displayed there as a symbol, and it's hustling and bustling, and you hear sounds of metal on metal and people like not weapons but smithy work, and you see all these gadgetry things moving about, or it's a pretty packed place. Yeah, so the three of you are. Sorry, I must not quite sure. Who you're as the inspector leading the way into the temple or the premise, and Tali's.
Yeah,
I'm just like gonna walk around the temple just to see if I will just be a person walking around.
And Olivia is joining you. What's your name? Sean?
my name is literally Frank Crombo. I mean,
Frank.
let's not beat around the bush here. Just
Why complicated?
yeah. It's, so I don't know if what Olivia wants to do. If she's gonna be joining me or
I'm gonna.
also walk around the temple.
No, I'm gonna join you, but not talk. And if they ask, I say that I'm assigned to the case
Okay. Great.
by the Black Hands. Like I'm put under you as your assistant in this investigation. But I only will reveal that if they ask about it.
Yeah, sounds good.
When you all of you make a perception check as you enter the temple grounds, the area.
And I'm not.
Did you roll 6 or? Oh no.
Yep, I rolled a 6.
Oh, you're there as well, Andre.
No, he's not. He's bow shopping.
Look,
Okay,
look
I
at
was,
how shiny his bow is.
yes, perceiving my
Does he notice
Oh.
that it's not a magical longbow?
So,
Then he got ripped off.
Sean and Olivia, you're conversing about your approach, about what you're gonna ask and stuff. Thalius, you see, there's a lot of things moving about up in the temple, and you see this little mechanical bird, like flap, 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 like Flappy Bird, flap, 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 up, down, and it's going awry. It's something that doesn't flap anymore, and it's going to
Throw a fireball at it.
yeah. Can I roll the retreat? Yeah. So it's going to. Actually, it's at you, Thalius. It flaps, and then you see it. Like it collapses. The wings fall in, and it aims at you.
Can I dodge that?
Yeah, and let's roll 20. Does 17 hits?
Yeah.
And this bird smashes into you, and you suffer two bludgeoning damage.
Mother.
And what you see on top of the temple, you see this puppet, and it's like, and it runs inside. It's
I'm gonna
this mechanical automation, and it
gonna
runs inside in the temple. There's the second
grab
floor.
the bird.
It's a mechanical minor piece, and yeah.
Is it still
Now-
moving?
It's moving as a like a lame duckling. It's a mechanical wind-up thingy. It was flying at some point. It's pretty much smashed to smithereens, but there's still some movement in there.
I'm gonna. Let's set the Andreas back. I guess I'm gonna hold it so that it like make sure it can't move too much, and I'm gonna like lean over to Sean and say, I think I saw your puppet man and it threw this at us. But I think it was an accident. It didn't seem. It couldn't have recognized me because I wasn't there. But you know how we said this might be other people? It's probably not.
Alright,
I'm gonna look around.
good do you?
Yeah. And I'm gonna. Is there anyone like in the courtyard who appears to be like a priest here, in charge?
Not in the courtyard per se. You see some. It was pretty much unnoticed because stuff moving about all the time, and people get hit faced by all sorts of means. But since it was not really a major attack or something like fireball, it was not. And you don't see people, which probably are followers of God, but people just practicing their mechanics. But nobody with the official robes of God out here, which you would presume as a priest.
That's what my next goal is. So I'm gonna go look for someone who appears to be
Yep.
in charge enough to ask questions to.
Yeah. So you're following a different path than Sean and Olivia.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on where they're going, like sort of.
Yeah. So as you all entering the temple from two different sides, so to say, you see a lot of interesting artifacts, like a 4-foot tall working model of a clock tower. The rings, like a Big Ben situation. It's made of wood, iron, bronze, glass, and brass balls, and it's a very fancy tower clock thing. Another pedestal has this wooden flying machine that flaps wings when it reminisces of the bird, but it's more stasis. There's also a miniature model of a mechanical dragon turtle with brass plates, and it says Big Belgium, sank in deep water, harbor of the Day of Wonders, 1363. So Day of Wonders is one of the parades where you normally would see one of those robot thingy. That's like a parade where helm don't shows up. Another pedestal has this walking helmet equipped with small architectural metal arms and hands that gently step the wearer if you fall asleep. So if you put it on, if you fall asleep, you get smacked in the face. So it's a waking helmet, walking the waking helmet. And there's also a miniature model for Red Submarine, shaped like a manta ray, and it has there's a brass plate fixed to the pedestal as says the Scarlet Marponaut, and it's a Lanthony submarine launched in 1483. So these are all fancy things being put out there for like prize positions of the Temple of Gaunt or like historical significance. And there's actually a group of priests, but there's one person in the middle that stands out, a bit taller than the rest, and has the more importance. And that's a bronze dragonborn priest, and it's a female dragonborn, and she's talking to some of the other clergy and giving out some instructions. You will see her at once, and you can talk to whoever you want, of course, but they're standing together a bit, and if you wait for a second, she'll said, well, thank you, gentlemen and women. You all know what to do, and good luck with your endeavors. They're not hooded. They're not a sect kind of thing. It's they're all robed and formerly attire of Gaunt. You see the cog symbol.
Here I was thinking they were all robots.
There's no sectical. They're very businesslike, and she noticed you, mainly you, Sean and Olivia, coming like, hello.
Hey.
You're from the Order of Magisters, or your investigation business, or?
Yes. Can you spare us some time, perhaps?
And you see her. She has this notebook and noteboard, and spare you some time. Yeah, I think I have some time. How may I be of help, Mr. and Mrs.?
My name is Colombo, Frank Colombo.
Mr. Colombo. Okay.
Sure.
Madam, what's your name? That doesn't bode well if you have to think that long about your name. Well, that's my name is Valetta. I'm the priestess of Gaunt here. I'm responsible for everything that goes on here in the House of Inspired Hands. We don't get a lot of official business. Is there anything I can do for you, Frank?
This is a special situation.
When they talk, I just like take out a notebook and a pen, but like in a dramatic way, so I'm like making effort to be noticed. I'm drawing out the notebook.
Oh, she notices you, but in the meantime, she's also very businesslike, and she keeps on walking through the temple and writing stuff down, noticing stuff, and going to all the little workplaces you see where people are working stuff. And Frank. Sorry, I'm trying to combine this with my daily routine here, but yeah.
Problem? Busy. I assume you've heard about the little mishap at Troll Skull Alley.
I don't have to say that I do. Mishap at Troll Skull Alley. Sorry, you have to inform me. I'm very focused on my work this morning. There's something happened in Troll Skull Alley recently.
There was a incident, an explosion to be precise.
Oh wow. That's
Um, yes, a lot of.
is it broken, or do you need some repairs, or?
No, that's not really. There's something that bothers me here. There was a
I'm
symbol.
sorry, Mr. Frankel. Well, I'm a very busy woman. Can you get to the point? I really want to help, but this is taking me too long.
There are some things that are pointing towards your temple. There was a piece of cloth that was found with your symbol, and the creature person thing that was seen throwing the explosive was a puppet similar to the ones you use.
Whoa.
You want me to get to the point? Here's the point.
I have to cut my.
Trying to get your attention here because you seem
You got my attention now. I'm going to say it to you. If there's any involvement of the Temple of Dawn, it's either very. It's a coincidence because I cannot imagine that we are involved in any of that various activities. As you see, we're much focused on our work. But you say something about the puppets. You see these automatons that walk around a bit, but these are like the beta versions. Like these are like nowhere near as nimble and they could not pull something like that off without walking away. It's like you're not talking about our nimble rats here. I presume they're not that sophisticated.
No, the more sophisticated ones. I don't know if. Well, I'm just a simple magistrate. I have no idea about any of this fancy artificer stuff. But I would like to ask you some questions about it. For one, if it's even possible for something like that to be done with one of these puppets. I mean,
yes, I'm a bit confused, but it's good that you. Let's go and find some of your proprietor to talk. And she's now really like, what the hell's happening here? In the meantime, Thalius, are you talking to some other priests or some other?
I'm trying to grab the attention of one of the priests that walked away when they broke up.
Yeah, so you find one, no problem.
So-
There.
Excuse me, but this flew into me, and I'm not giving it to them, and it hurt.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean,
I'm not supposed to do it. So.
no, I figured it wasn't on purpose, but well, I figure now that it caused me an injury, the very least you can do is. Could you repair such a thing for me?
Well, can you point me to the person who flew this into you? Because
I don't know. I walked into the temple. It was flying there, and it sort of looked a bit strange, and then it like flew straight at me, knocked me in the shoulder. Look, I have a giant bruise.
oh man, I mean, normally, like I have to say, accidents like these happen, but most of the time, the owner is nearby and they claim responsibility because that's one of the first rules. You're always responsible for your own inventions, and that's what we see here at the Temple of Dawn. I mean,
Do you like mark them in any way so you would know it's your own, or?
may I have investigated, please?
Sure. I'll give it to him.
And he looks at it like, and while he's looking at it, you see this like, oh shit, look. Sorry, sir. What's your name?
My name is Thalius Breyer.
Thales. I'm sorry. I have to.
No, you don't have to do anything. What
This
you?
is.
Hold on, and I'm gonna just grab his rope. Hold on.
He's like.
This thing attacked me.
I'm trying to get to the bottom for you, sir, but it's something it's above my pay grade. If you give me a second, I'm going
No, I'm not giving you a moment to run away and dodge responsibility. This thing attacked me. Look at the injury. I want reparations for that.
trying to. Don't try to run away. I'll get to my
How about you give me the bird
my
back
name is
and we go find out what happened together?
okay, and it's okay. And he walks like follow. Can you please let go and follow me, please, sir?
Sure, I don't know. If he gives me the bird, I'll let go and follow him.
He gives you back to Burton. He beelines to Valletta, and while you're being escorted into the office, Sean and Olivia, Valletta is ambushed by the priest, and there's something there, and she stops like, oh no, he did what? And I'm sorry. One of our nimble rights, the event of kind, has done something stupid. I have to go talk to him about it. You mind waiting here, or and you
Well,
sir
I'm
are-
not waiting here. The thing attacked me. I want reparations for it. I want to know who did this to me, and I want them to be held accountable.
follow me.
You're a med. You look like you work for the city guard. These priests attacked me.
That's-
Like, I step in front of Mr. Colombo. Like, please don't disturb an ongoing investigation. Please move along.
Oh, fine. I'm just
Okay,
gonna...
okay, sorry. Everybody, there's a lot going on at the same time. Mr. Colombo, Miss, I don't know your name. I have to deal with this first because this is annoyance. You're welcome to tag along. I'll discuss any issues you might have with the incident. We have to get to the bottom of this. But this is annoyance that I have to deal with right away because it doesn't get doesn't have to go out of hands.
Do you mind if we wait in your office, ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead. And she points you to, which is sort of an office, but more of an open workspace with a workbench and tools and yours. It's she. There's
No,
not.
it's fine. It's just like
Of course,
I
it's
was
an open
hoping to
workspace.
do her stuff to like for a few minutes. But
Well, there's it's like a fancy cubicle,
no,
right?
it's fine.
It's there's you can do something below. If you duck down, you don't see you.
Yeah,
that-
no, I'm not gonna risk it.
But there has to be ventilation for
Maybe
fire.
Mr. Colombo feels more lucky on that part.
Mr. Colombo is sitting down in whatever chair there is with a deep sigh, like his body's aching. Like, we'll wait here.
Yeah. She like I can take it from here, Simon. And Mr. What was your name? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Mr. Breyer will do.
Mr. Breyer. Please follow me. We have Nimblewright in our premise. His name is Nim, and or its name is Nim. Sorry. He's sometimes great stuff that he shouldn't. He's pretty smart, but sometimes he does stupid things. So
What did you say? Nimble Bright. What did the...
you repair damages and at least apologize. And
What's the world's a Nimble Bright?
nimble rights. These are our. If you've seen Days of Operate, we have these things. This is here,
Yeah.
and those are nimble rights. But Nim is a special nimble right, and he's a bit smarter than the rest and more inventive.
He creates his own Nimble Bright... This things.
Yeah, he does, and we
Okay.
should always confer these with us and not set them free in the world unless they are checked by our by our quality control center, which we are very proud of. That we don't get anything out of the door that is not double checked, and this should not have been flying around.
So, do they have souls?
Interesting question. Right. I don't think so. It's very mechanical. Maybe Gaunt will inspire them with a soul. I hope so. I hope to believe that Gaunt gives these creatures souls. They should. And she walks up the stairs to the second floor, and there's this door, and she knocks on it, and she gets one of her keys and tries to push in the lock, but lock has changed, or like what? Huh? This should open. I'm sorry. And she knocks again. It's weird. It's locked itself in. I'm sorry. I want to get somebody with some lock picking skills to open the door. If you wait right here, and she leaves you alone with the lock door.
You want me to... Hold on. So,
I'm sorry, the door is locked. I cannot open it. I know Nick's behind this door, but I
there
don't...
seems to be a pattern with you people. You don't take responsibility for anything, do you? First I talked to the man you called Simon, and he wanted to leave me alone. Now you want to leave me alone. What's going on here?
I don't care. I'm sorry. I really appreciate your effort. But I have an inspector from the Magister's Order of Magisters waiting down here for me.
Maybe if you didn't have birds attacking random people, you wouldn't have inspectors here.
Quality or just one, not money. Because if you want money, I can reimburse you for your damages done.
If you can fix this, I'll take it as compensation.
To be... This is not quality control. We can probably fix it, but well, I don't want it to be associated with the Temple of God, because it will crash down immediately the second time you use it. It's elementary. I mean, this is what our apprentices made, not something that would carry the seal from.
Could you, if it was approved by God, could we buy such a thing?
Probably yes. Sorry, are you negotiating right now?
No, I was just wondering. I thought it was rather curious, so I figured as compensation, but I didn't realize the robot made it. So I figured, like, if the owner repairs it and gives it to me as an apology, then there needs to be no monetary compensation. But I mean, it's up to you. If you prefer to do monetary compensation, that works for me as well, of course.
Let's first get Nim here, because I want to get to the bottom of this, why it happened. I'm looking to see the damage repairs in any way, form, and if this is what it takes, then I'll look into what we can do there, Mr. Breyer. She starts walking downstairs again, and she will tell you, Olivia and Sean, like, I'm sorry, we have a little issue upstairs. I have to get to the bottom of this first, because this I take this very gravely. I'm not trying to hinder your investigation, of course, but
Fair. I mean, there were quite a lot of dead people in the explosion, and it is quite grievous. I mean, a defect bird, then it doesn't sound quite as important.
I'm sorry. I was still. Maybe it's my disbelief in that we had anything to do with that. Okay, this is a bit much. She says, Simon, can you please get the locksmith to open Nim's door, and the other priest hurries up and gets a find a locksmith. And okay, I'm sorry. Dead people, of course, we take this seriously. How can we help, Frank?
Well, as I said, several witnesses saw one of your puppets throw the device that caused the explosion.
It's so strange because, as you see, our nimble rides are very much robotic. We have one a bit more sentient, but it's unable to leave this premise. Actually, that's the one question we're trying to get to right now. But it is locked to this temple area. It's guaranteed that it cannot leave this this temple.
Guaranteed.
100%.
And there are no others like him. Could have done
No,
such
we
a...
actually created this as like a prototype, and we're still fine-tuning it. It has some defects. It's sentient, but sometimes a bit too sentient. And I don't know. It's hard to communicate with it. It doesn't speak, but it understands what you say.
Maybe we should look for the locksmith, since he seems to be now our prime suspect.
Actually, and at some point Simon comes back with somebody with some device which is clearly not a lockpicking set, but it's something mechanical, like with cards and tools, and he lets you do something else. If you're trying to pick the lock upstairs,
Oh, I'm waiting.
he comes over and puts the device on the door, and like all these sounds going on, clinking and sounding, and and you don't know what's happening, but all of a sudden you hear click, and the dwarf that operated the machine, like, well, it's closed. Take it off with his device, and very proud of his device and doesn't care what it does. And Fleda opens the door, and it's not a big room. It's like a studio apartment sort of thing, and well, not without the furnishing, but it's like 3 by 3 or something meters, and you're sitting on something like resembles a bed, but way more metallic and a wooden structure. You see this nimble ride creature, and it looks at you like,
Oh, fellow.
and Valletta's like, Nim, and she asked the thing from you, Talius. She holds out her hand, but she expects you to put it in.
Give it to her.
This item flew in this gentleman's right shoulder. How can that be? I think we had some ground rules. And she looks around, as I see, and there's all these little tinkering things going on, little machinery walking around, and other constructs, and this nimble ride has been creating non-stop stuff. Like, we had a rule that you would not create without consent. This hurt him. This could have gone way worse. It could have killed maybe a small child. This guy is very strong. We cannot allow this. We have a reputation to uphold. I'm going to confiscate this now, and we're going to repair it and give it as a present to him.
Well,
But
do you mind if I have a look around the things he's made? I'm just curious about. I mean, I don't know. It's just. I'm just a little mesmerized by all the moving things. You don't mind, do I? Then I just start looking at it. Like, I'm looking for the stone in the room, basically.
yes, the stone. Yeah, make.
Unless she stops me from looking.
No,
at the room.
she's not helping you. She's more in disciplining at this point. Make an investigation check. You don't see any indication that there is a stone or any plants or any other nefarious stuff. Or you see a lot of harmless inventions. Yeah, it's well, she's still you look around, but you see some interesting other builds, but nothing really special. And well, and apparently this is not the only thing that's is happening right now. As a matter of fact, this good officer, Mr. Frank Colombo, he came by and said that a nimble right like you attacked Firebolt, and she looks like Firebolt a place. But I mean, you haven't found a way to breach the premises, and you see him being like shocked a bit, micro expression based on what you can detect from and he starts to gesture to Paletta, and there's a lot of gesturing going on and sign language and stuff going on, and it's an amount. It's hard. Well, maybe make a perception check, see if you can ascertain what he is saying, or insight maybe. Whatever you want.
Oh, even worse.
I'm not really paying attention to him.
Nice. Yeah, so Olivia, what you ascertain is based on your language skills and perception. In that sense, you study, and he hasn't left the premises. He cannot, but he created something. He wanted to create something like him, a twin, a brother, family member, friend. But he has lost track of it. And you see every gesture, you see Paletta's expression getting more and more grave. And he looks, Valletta at some point looks at you, all of you, and says, I'm sorry, I'm apparently, our friend Nim here, has seen it unto himself that he has created a copy of himself, another Nimblewright, and whereas he has been magically ascertained that he cannot leave this premise, the copy of himself that of course could have, and it's not nowhere to be seen, and it probably was not created with the same carefulness that we normally create our inventions here at the Temple Ground. So I had to say this, Mr. Colombo, if this creature has been seen at seen of time, it could have been, well, Nim's own creation, another nimble rights, but
I'll write something on a piece of paper and tear it off my notebook and hand it to Mr. Colombo, and like it says like, ask about the letters on the stone, ask about YT.
And if nothing else, then Valletta goes on and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's this. Nim, you've caused so much harm. I have to punish you now, and we have to take all your adventures away. We cannot let this go. I'm so disappointed in you. I thought we had agreements. You wouldn't do this." And he's looking like very guilt-ridden, and he actually rummages around and gives you Frank Colombo a device, and he signs to Valletta, and well, apparently Nim has been clever enough to create like this nimble ride detector, and he wants you to have it. It doesn't have a big range, but maybe you can find the nimble ride for us. And in all seriousness now, I'm really too. I'm very concerned about getting out in Waterdeep and what it would do to our name. And I'm willing to offer a big reward if you find the nimble ride and return it to us. That goes to you as well, Mr. Breyer, and to the Order of Microsters as well. This is my #1 priority right now.
Just to have a sense of what we're dealing with here. Nim, your constructed brother. Did he have a player for the mischievous? Did he get into a lot of trouble when he was still in your control?
And he signs stuff to Valletta, and what it says from Nim here admits that he created it out of loneliness. He was, well, maybe that's also my blame that we didn't give him too much attention lately. But at one night a month ago, he says its creation became confused all of a sudden. Some wiring mishap, and it fled in terror out of the premises. And he has not told us about it. But this happened a month ago, so I don't know what's happened in the meantime, or how it's being used, or it has a mind of its own. That's like Nim, but I can't say in how far. I've not used it, and
Not this a long time.
I can't believe something like this happens to us. We're so careful, and we check all of our employees and acolytes under constructions, but Nim, for all its glory, we were so proud of your creation, Nim, that what you could accomplish, and now you're doing this. You're putting our temple to shame. I'm gonna have to have all your stuff removed, and if you can prove yourself worthy again, you can have tools again, Nim, but this cannot go on like this. It's killed people, Nim. It's killed 11 people, Frank Colombo said here.
John kind of looks at the note he got from Olivia, looks at her. Something you wanted to ask? Just checking to see if she still wants to ask those questions.
I think Olivia fell asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just thinking.
I kind of sense like we have our lead, and
Yeah.
but maybe there was another reason why Olivia wanted to ask this question, so he's just checking with her.
No. I wanna ask it, but it's like it's gonna blow. I don't wanna ask questions because it can come bite me in the ass later on.
Nice.
That's
Over your
the
hand.
main reason why I have not been talking as much in here.
It's good.
That's just as you said, we have our lead, and like that's just
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
good
like,
ending for today's session.
I shoot my shoulders and like that's
Still want compensation.
Well, you Mr. Breyer, we'll fix this up for you, and for you as well. If you find the Nimble Ride Plus, which apparently is similar to Nim here, there's, I have to say, I'm willing to pay 500 gold to retrieve the Nimble Rides for that, and maybe even, if you like inventions, we have something more sensible, and I think one of our latest inventions, which we are more willing to part with, is like adjustable stilts or backpack parachutes. These are things that are
Backpack
more.
parachute. That sounds interesting.
I'd love to explain to you all the workings of it if you have time, and if you
Sure.
find them right, we can reward you with something like that.
Well, I mean, this thing that you call Nim, I mean, it needs to have a creator. I don't think I can hold a robot responsible for my injuries,
Not
but
just one person, of course. It was a group effort.
so the whole temple is responsible for my injury then.
I guess sure. If you're just looking for the money, then we can work it out. I'm sorry. I cannot, in my good will, fix this item because it will crash immediately and.
No, if it's dangerous, then I don't want it, of course. But I figured when I came in here, I thought someone had created it, but apparently something has made a
Yes.
monstrosity, I guess. So maybe some monetary compensation or a little healing of my shoulder, and we'll forget about the whole thing.
And she writes you a note and go by the desk and if you sign this paper, you waive all your rights and responsibilities and you'll receive 20 gold as a compensation for your injuries.
Seems fair. I mean, I guess there's not going to be apology of the creator since it's a machine.
Oh, it's actually, apologize, I'm sorry, I forgot to relay that information, but it's a very, if you get impression, it's very sorry about what it's done.
Fair enough.
And we'll make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay. Tonight's session to an end. You now have a nimble ride detector. Let's see, it has a range of 500 feet. And it can detect any nimble ride creature. And when it has like this box with an umbrella on top of it, like this radar thingy, and when a nimble ride is in the neighborhood, it begins to spin and whirl and click, and it accelerates when it's closer and decelerates when it's closer. And, you can see it happen when you turn it on. When Nim is there, it's like, and well, pointing in the direction of Nim. But, yeah. You turn it off because it's very annoying.
That went one hell of a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, me too.
It's not always battle and skirmishes.
No, I was just instantly attacked when we entered the temple. I figured we're gonna die here.
Oh no, I
Let's
figured
stick
it was
with
just
the
a
plan
random,
of splitting the party. We're just gonna die here.
I mean,
Come on,
you're
trust. We're all gonna
you're in
die.
you're in an artificial temple. Things like that's gonna happen. But
Well,
Right.
nothing gets past the Great Columba, right?
no,
The question is, where did the duplicate get a hold of the necklace of fireballs?
well, it's been missing for a month, so you know. a lot of
Yeah, I mean, it probably
I,
joined
I,
some.
I'm kind of thinking a Chappie, the movie kind of situation here that he, you know.
Yeah, powerful
Only
but
with the
not
wrong
very
crowd.
bright. You just convince him to do all sorts of stuff with them.
Oh man.
Not sure if there's a saps at all to the suggestion spell.
I have to go, but that was a fun session, and see you guys next week.
Was
Yeah.
fun.
See you
That's
next week.